The denizens of Ireland's populist cesspool have reacted to the presence of international asylum seekers by declaring, "Ireland is full." Naturally, this claim featured front and centre in the recent local council and European parliamentary elections, which saw 5 far-right candidates elected to public office. It appeared on their political campaign literature, on their hashtags on social media, and of course on graffiti spray-painted on or near buildings where black and brown international protection applicants were living, or were rumoured to be living. Facts have never been considered a necessity in far-right propaganda. Last November, during the Dublin race riots, this was the battle cry of the neo-Nazis who instigated the trouble. Now, looking around Dublin, the Irish capital, and comparing it to other European cities like London, Paris or Berlin, it is difficult to accept the claim that there are too many people living on this island. Sure, Ireland is nowhere near the size of Britain, France or Germany, but even for its size, it is perfectly clear this is not a densely populated or overpopulated city. Something tells me, however, that this claim that Ireland is full has less to do with demographic facts than it does about racism, intolerance and Islamophobia, those things right now driving the growth of Ireland's far right. So we should look at the facts. Ireland's population stands at just over 5 million, which is considerably smaller than the pre-famine population of over 8 million in 1840, even when we factor in the 1.8 million in the British-occupied 6 counties of Ulster. The island as a whole still has not recovered in terms of population from the famine. Few indeed, other than Britain's social Darwinists and Malthusians, were suggesting Ireland was full in 1840 when the population of Dublin was a mere 230,000. Right now, Ireland has a population density of 72 people per square kilometre, and to put this information into perspective, this makes Ireland less crowded than countries like Portugal, Cyprus and Belgium. And overcrowding is not exactly what springs to mind when we think of the vast, flat fields of emptiness that is Belgium. More to the point, according to the website of the Irish Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment, Ireland is suffering from a, and I quote, shortage in respect of qualifications, experience or skills which are required for the proper functioning of the economy. This list includes, among many others, civil, mechanical and electrical engineers, IT specialists, programmers and software development professionals, web designers and a host of medical professions from radiographers to nurses. At this moment in time, Ireland's economy is hurting because Ireland is not full enough. Look, Ireland is obviously not full, but these cretins on the far right are shouting that it is for a reason. When it is pointed out that Ireland needs immigration, and it does, the mocking response is invariably something along the lines of, the asylum seekers and economic migrants that we see on the street are not IT specialists and medical consultants. Then, when a black or a brown migrant commits a crime, this is used as some class of proof to this point. But this is a nonsense. There is a certain small percentage of every population that is criminal, and this is always a small percentage. The real issue here is one of attention. Whose crimes do we pay attention to? When Algerian-born Riyad Bouhakar attacked a child with a knife in Dublin's inner city, the Irish far right made this horrible incident all about his race and religion, and so instigated a night of anti-migrant violence and rioting in Dublin. But when Cathal Crotty, a white Irish member of the Defence Forces who savagely beat Natasha O'Brien unconscious in an unprovoked attack, and who boasted about it online, was given a fully suspended sentence, there was not a peep from the far right. So much for being the self-proclaimed defenders of Irish women. When far-right activists claim Ireland is full and yet scoff at the criminality of a minority of migrants as evidence that, to quote Donald Trump, they are not sending their best, they are in effect conceding that Ireland is not in fact full. What they are attempting to say is that they believe we are getting the wrong kind of migrant. But we know that their imagined qualification for the right kind of person is not about crime. A white male in the Irish Defence Forces almost killing a young woman on the streets of Limerick does not get them agitated. Crime is clearly not the problem, but as we can see from their different attitudes to Riyad Buhakar and Cathal Crotty, their real problem is skin colour. To the far right, the wrong kind of migrant is black and brown, and they have a particular hatred of Muslims. Their constant fear-mongering about unvetted men of military age coming into Ireland is all about black and brown Muslim men coming to Ireland. It really has nothing to do with the imagined overcrowding of Ireland. This was the racism at the heart of recently elected far-right councillor Tom McDonnell's repulsive remarks about Irish women having to breed more. He actually used the word breed. Surely, if Ireland is full, the last thing we need is Irish people having more children. The contradiction is entirely lost on the far right because the far right does not do facts. But this is a hallmark of the white supremacist Great Replacement conspiracy theory, that because black and brown people are coming into our country due to some New World Order plot, and read here, Jewish plot, to turn the world beige, our women, that is, white women thought the property of white men, have to be bred like beasts to keep the fatherland, well, white. The simple truth of the matter is that Ireland is far from full. In real demographic terms, Ireland is closer to empty than full. Our population shortage, and I know shortage seems a strange word here in light of the wholly artificial housing and homelessness crises we are suffering, but our population shortage is having a serious and negative impact on our economy. Essential services are lacking because we do not have enough people with the right skills. Idiots like Gavin Pepper will say, well, we should train our own white people. But this is yet another lunacy and another evidence of how truly little he and his ilk know about training and education. Absolutely, the apparent downside of immigration is migrant criminality, which is, as it is in the Irish general population, a small percentage of the whole, and everyone coming into this country is vetted. But the data speaks for itself. We need migrants with skills. We also have a moral obligation to help people fleeing war and persecution. It would be terribly cheeky of Ireland, of all countries, to turn away people fleeing poverty, hunger, persecution and war, pretty much the only reason New York has a police force. Ireland is full is a slogan, and only a slogan. It is not based anywhere in reality. If there is a reality to this at all, it is that those using it are racists, and we are definitely too full for them.